welcome to Cup Check, second episode of this season, I guess. Today's actually only a 1 hour show. We ran into a couple of scheduling conflicts, but so you get us for 2 hours on Tuesday, so that'll be our big show. We'll try to cover everything. Thursday is going to be an hour show from here on out, unless something changes, and that'll be probably focused a little more on primarily on football, probably a little more NFL, but we'll throw some college in there. But today it's just me, Alex. So sit back and enjoy. So starting off today, I don't know if you guys watched it. Team USA won. They won pretty convincingly, and that put them at 5-0 in group play. They've been dominating for the most part. That routed Ukraine today. It was pretty bad. I think it was 91-71 or something like that. I think one of the bigger takeaways from this right now is that Derrick Rose has been absolutely doing nothing. Derrick Rose, yeah, he just came off of two knee surgeries, but he's shooting right about, I think, 28% through 5 games. That's something I think I could probably go out there and do, to be honest with you. It's just not something you expected from a guy who was so explosive before the knee surgeries. His jump shot really hasn't been there. His points, when he gets them, have been on kind of driving, getting to the basket, and that's something you like to see as a Bulls fan, but also you don't like to see their shots going down. But with the Bulls being just loaded this year, with they got Joakim Noah still there, they got Pau Gasol, who else? They got what's his name? Dude just drafted Doug McDermott, who's actually my pick to be the Rookie of the Year. I think Wiggins, he'll have a pretty good season, but him and Jabari Parker are both on teams that don't really have a whole lot going. I think McDermott will kind of sneak up on a few people and probably average about 20 points a game. Because if Derrick Rose keeps playing like this, he's going to need to pass it well. And that's another thing. He's got more turnovers than assists. That's not something you want to see from your starting point guard. Luckily, USA has Kyrie Irving, who's now going to be teamed up with one of the greatest players in the league, or the greatest player in the league. But I think the Bulls will be okay because Derrick Rose at some point will find his groove. But right now for the USA, Derrick Rose definitely needs to step up a little bit if they want to take on more of the powerhouse like Spain or even like a Greece team. Greece has looked pretty good as well. So another takeaway from the USA winning five in a row, all five of them in league play. Now they're going to elimination. Is Kenneth Faried, the manimal as some call him. He's been just on a tear. He has him and Davis, Anthony Davis, have both just become superstars through this. If you've been watching it all, you wonder why nobody talks about him for maybe even an MVP race, but he's definitely going to get that contract extension. But he's on another level right now. There's ESPN videos and stuff of him just slamming it down. He's catching alley oops. He's doing everything. He pretty much treats a missed shot or just a shot towards the rim as a pass to him. His goal is to go up and get it. Him and Anthony Davis down there in the paint, nobody's beating us. I mean, I really like DeMarcus Cousins. I think DeMarcus Cousins is one of the best centers, if not the best center in the league. But right now, I'm okay with the U.S. sitting him on the bench because you have the Manimal and you have Anthony Davis. So I think Anthony Davis will be top 5 player in the NBA in a couple years. He's just he was a guard before he got to Kentucky. He was a guard like 6'1", and then he shot up to almost 7 foot. So he's still got the guard mentality. He can pass it pretty well. But he's a post player now, so his handles aren't too bad, and he can just turn around and throw down on anybody. And of course, his unbelievable blocking skills that everybody knows about. Ask any team they've beaten recently. It's not good for them at all. Um, but the USA, they're definitely gonna have to step up their gameplay if they want to do anything close. If they want to beat Spain, it's gonna be Spain and the USA most likely in the championship, unless something happens to America. Because I don't see Spain losing. Spain's just dominating with the Gasol brothers and Serge Ibaka. They're another animal too. Um, Not a whole lot going on in basketball, so that's about all we got. Obviously, we talked about, if you missed it on Tuesday, we talked about Steve Ballmer buying the Clippers for $2 billion. He said it's a bargain. He also said that if he thinks he got ripped off, he wouldn't have bought it, obviously. But we talked about that. We talked about Donald Sterling a little bit. So that's about all we got. Apparently, the Clippers are going to pay Doc Rivers $10 million a year. That's according to sources there. So that's that was Ballmer's one thing when he bought them. He said that Doc Rivers really held the team together very well during the whole fiasco that happened. So it's good to see Doc Rivers getting paid off. And they even talked about giving him a little stock in the team. So we'll see if they do decide to do that. And going with the Clippers for a second, I do think it's a possibility. I mentioned at the end of the show, I didn't get to go into it too much, but I think that there's a chance that the Clippers end up in Seattle. I think they may stay the Clippers name, maybe not, depending on what Seattle says. But I think that with Ballmer being a CEO of or former CEO, sorry, of the Microsoft, located obviously in Seattle, it's a possibility that I see happening soon because right now they're living in the kind of the shadow of the Lakers. And even though the Lakers are bad, the Lakers are the LA team, regardless of how you put it. So I think that that's something Ballmer will look into if he knows he can make money off of it, because that's obviously number one. If he can make money off of it, the move will be happening within the next 2, 3, 4 years, because they're still going to be good. They got Blake Griffin, who's coming off of back surgery, but still, he's another type of human being the way he dunks it. Chris Paul, they're still going to be pretty good. They're looking at trying to get Ray Allen, so that would add another jump shot there. So we'll see what happens there, but they'll be good, and that's something Seattle needs. They don't need a team like Sacramento try to move there, who Sacramento may be good in a couple of years, but right now they're not. I think Seattle really needs a team that's going to do well, because if you look at the team that went away from Oklahoma City, the team's doing pretty well. So it'd be kind of unfair to give them a bad team, but they want a team no less. So I think the Clippers will have a shot, or the Clippers may be the team that makes the move up there. Also, side note, I don't know if you guys saw it. Frank Caliendo, he used his impersonation. If you don't know who he is, he does really good impersonations. But he was on Mike and Mike this morning, and he did an impersonation of AI's famous kind of spiel when he was up there to ask about practice, his whole practice type thing. He did that in Morgan Freeman's voice. That was pretty good. I'd recommend checking that out. That was kind of funny to see him do it in a different voice like that. One of the things that we did not cover that we mentioned, but didn't get around to it last time. I know 2 hours ran out pretty quickly, but happens when you're just rambling. The NCAA new rules for Division One. They made it so now that this is all the Division One, not the new rules for the Power Five conference. We'll get to that in a second. But the D1 now, athletes eat anytime they want. They have unlimited meals, so sounds pretty good. I want to be a D1 athlete now. I want to eat as much as I can all the time, because who doesn't? Just being able to go out and have a meal and everything is something they did need. There's people that are like, oh, that's not right. But you think about it, a D1 player goes out there and he does a lot for I mean, he goes out there and puts on a show for everybody. So he should at least be able to have meals for him, at least unlimited meals. Go over to Taco Bell and get a Taco 12 pack, or go to the cafeteria and be able to eat, or whatever he wants to do that day. He should be able to get food. Now, I mean, he shouldn't be able to go to a steak restaurant, obviously, and order the most expensive thing and order 3 of them. But he should be able to go to McDonald's and order off the dollar menu and not have to worry about if he has enough money, because he was raised from nothing, so he doesn't have any money, and he just has a scholarship. So I think adding the food to that for all the D1 athletes is a good way to go. I know some people are like, well, if you do it for D1, why not D2, D3? It's a little different. D1 makes a lot more money than D2, D3 athletes. So that's really the difference there. And then the new rule for the Power 5 conferences, that one's actually a table turner, I guess, or so to speak, that they now will let the ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12, SEC, and there's one more I can't think of. They will let them now make rules and such for recruiting, paying players, all of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of controversy over that, because if you think about it now, they can pretty much outdo the little conferences. It's not really fair to the littler conferences. Say like CUSA, it's kind of like, I wrote an article where I said that Old Dominion will be better than UVA in 3, 4, 5 years, because UVA's just been doing horrible. I don't know if you guys follow them at all. They've had one winning season under Mike London, I think one in the past 6 years. You add that, that's not a good kind of track record there. They did play well versus UCLA, but that's beside the point. They they've been horrible, and ODU's been doing really good coming up. They're looking at a new football stadium. They just signed on to play Tech for a while, so that's something that I thought ODU would be able to kind of capitalize on that, capitalize on the everything new stuff like that. But it turns out that UVA can now pay players. I can recruit him at age 12. I can do whatever I want, and the ODU can't. So they have a step ahead of them now because you got a top five player or a five-star recruit in Virginia. You're looking at ODU or UVA. At the time, you say, ODU's up and coming. They're doing really well. 10-3 last year, something like that. They're on the up. They're getting a new stadium, new facilities. Everybody likes new facilities, obviously. And UVA's been doing horrible. Yeah, they're a little look bigger upon, but UVA's not doing very well. So now you put that, and then all right, now UVA can pay you money. Well, if I came up from nothing, or say I don't think I'm gonna make it to the NFL. I'm an okay player, but I'm gonna get my degree in business, and that's that. Well, now I know I can get paid to play college football for 4 years. I can get a little stipend, a little money to walking around money, buy me some nice stuff, buy a new car, buy some clothing, well, you don't gotta buy food now. Buy something, just buy you stuff. And that's nice to have that walking around money where it's not offered at the smaller schools. So now smaller schools now can't compete on the field, but now can't compete off the field. So it's just not a good sort of thing. Then we got the game of the week. Michigan, number 7, Michigan State's playing number 3, Oregon. I think Michigan State's going to win this. Their defense is just on another level. Oregon, yeah, they have a high-powered offense, but they just not. They're just. Oregon's got a high-powered offense, but no defense. It is at Oregon, which is a plus for them. It's going to be loud, but Michigan State's used to playing somewhere loud, like the horseshoe of Ohio State. And that's really what they're used to, and they can slow down the pace. There's something. Oregon runs a track meet. Michigan State runs a ground and pound. Good luck getting 3 yards on us because their defense is so good. They have the best defense in the league, I think. What about you?
Well, okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm a little bit late on this one, Alex. Any self-righteous college person would be playing football in a completely flooded area because it's fun. But I'm here now after class and trying to. Can you move over a little bit? Thank you. And I agree on the idea that Oregon's defense is pretty good. They're nothing like Michigan State's defense, though, but their offense is a lot better.
The offense is much better, but I think the defense is much better for
Michigan.
Michigan State. Yeah, Michigan State has the top defense in the league. I think it's hard to dispute that. I mean, you can throw. I mean, I don't think Alabama's up there.
For defense or offense?
Defense.
What do you mean not up there?
Not Michigan State level. I think Michigan State's on another tier of defense. Michigan State's always known for their defense and really good running game.
That's exactly what Alabama's known for. Is it's an insane defense and the running game. Yeah, they're slipping this year. I'll give you that. But to put them out of a tier of any other college team is kind of out there.
Their passing defense is usually pretty good, but the rushing defense, I don't know.
After their senior class where they lost 3 of their main linebackers, or all of their linebackers, really, it's going to be a while for them to be able to get up to what they were, but their rush defense was top 3 in the league last year.
And Michigan State, I'm sure, was 1. Michigan State is always at the top of rush defense. Michigan State,
I think to say that Michigan State is on another tier of defense while Alabama is still under Saban or Saban or however you want to pronounce it, to say that it's just not. Doesn't have any back to it.
It does. They're the best defense in the league.
They are the best defense
years.
right now. Excuse me?
Michigan
For the past
State,
10 years? The only reason Alabama won any of their 4 championships they've won in the last 10 years is because of their defense.
I didn't say they had horrible defense. I said Michigan State had the best defense.
So you're saying the last 10 years straight they've been better than Alabama's defense?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Because they have their system and everything. They make mediocre linebackers look much better than they are. You look at middle linebackers that come from Michigan State, it's like in Michigan State, they were amazing. They
Minus
come out of
last
college,
year, Alabama had the top defense 4 years straight.
I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
Pull it up. You have the mouse. I'll type stuff. You click it.
I highly doubt that. We're talking about rush defense, correct? Or are we talking about
You're
total
saying
defense? Okay, look up the total defense.
Yeah, it probably won't help, but so click total defense there.
Total FBS football statistics. Let's see. Total defense.
Bama.
Let's see. Opponent's yards.
Michigan State's number 4 on this, letting in 67 yards more, 0.2 more per play.
I want running.
An extra defense.
I want running. Oh, there was rushing defense. Rushing defense.
They're still not number 1.
Well, okay. You have UTSA.
Baylor.
What's the name of UTSA?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Baylor.
Baylor. Okay, Baylor.
Louisiana Monroe.
Baylor's a little negative 24 rush. Okay, that's a little ridiculous. Michigan State is. I would take Michigan State over any other defense.
And this is just through last year.
Yeah. So I mean, we can't go further back, obviously, because this doesn't want to let us. But Michigan State's defense is always.
I
at the
just
top.
gave you rankings from last year when they were an off year for Alabama, and they're still better in defense.
Alabama was not an off year.
It was an off year for them. Allowing 17 points in 2 straight games is something they've never done in the past 6 years.
We'll see. I think Michigan State has a better defense. This isn't gonna. Yep, this is 2014.
Quick rushing.
This is 14, so
yeah.
this isn't gonna do anything.
I think you can say that Michigan has a better defense right now, or even a better rushing defense. But to say they're on another tier while Alabama's still in there is completely off your rocker.
I think
another tier is like
positions.
Jacksonville versus like even the Panthers, because the Panthers are on another tier of gameplay than Jacksonville is, and they're still not that great this year, or aren't going to be that great this year.
Let's see if I can find multiple years. It's not going to want to do that.
Click history.
History? That's going to take us way back.
Way back.
Nope, this is the national champions. I think that
I've just shown
Michigan
you even last year how you were wrong.
I think Michigan State overall has a better defense in the past. And nope, college football. Nope, that's not what I want.
All right, we'll go to 2012.
No, okay, we're not.
You want to go to defense, but
yeah, we're not
going
to find it. All right, we'll move on. But I think Michigan State wins this game.
Yeah, you're right on that. Michigan State. No, I think Oregon's gonna win that one.
I think Michigan State's defense is a little too much for. Oregon is always.
Oregon scored what, like 67 points?
Yeah,
a game
but
last year?
Oregon always does that, and then they always lose one game. Or like Oregon's like, oh, Oregon should be in the championship, and then it's like they lose one game.
They don't have a great defense. You're right, but they're with Marcus Mariota still there. It's gonna be close.
I think this is their one game. They always lose one game, and it's like, oh, if they didn't lose that, they'd be in the championship. I think this is their one. And I think Michigan State, this is pretty much their only task. If Michigan State wins this, I think that puts them in the playoffs.
I would put you. I think they're going to the playoffs anyway.
If they lose this game, they're not. If they lose this game, they don't have the strength of schedule to win the rest of the games and make the playoffs. Because the SEC, we're considering Florida State's going to win out. They should win out. We're just going to take assumptions here.
Okay.
Florida State, looking at their schedule, there's no one.
Unless they do what most teams do and have that championship slump and get complacent and lose.
But they're okay, I'm just going projection-wise.
But projection-wise, they should win out.
They're
You're
not
right.
projected to lose by any or win by any less than 20 or 17.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put them there. Okay.
I'll give you that.
We're gonna put a team, at least one team out of the SEC.
Bama.
We'll put Bama. Okay. Probably Pac-12. Whoever wins the Pac-12. So whoever wins Oregon, USC, whoever wins that's probably going to get in unless something's awry. And then I think
probably Big Ten.
Strength of schedule, you get another SEC team.
So Georgia?
Yeah, I think if Alabama goes undefeated and Georgia loses once, I think that looks better.
Well, doesn't Georgia play Bama twice?
They'll probably play them once and then
they'll play again in the championship. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, you lose twice. That's a little unfair. The whole championship thing that goes on the thing. They should choose it before. But anyway, Michigan State loses this, they're in trouble. Michigan State loses this, they're not in because they play Ohio State is their other tough one, who lost their quarterback.
And they're like ranked number 4, I believe. So
Yeah, Michigan State's pretty high. They actually play Tech this weekend. I think Tech may pull the upset.
are you talking about Ohio State?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Who'd I say?
Michigan State.
Oh no, I meant Ohio State is the only other team Michigan State.
Yeah, I
plays.
got you.
But yeah, I think Ohio State didn't look good yesterday or last weekend, and I think that Virginia Tech will beat them. Even though I don't think Tech's very good.
No, Tech isn't that great this year.
I don't think Ohio State's very good either. I think their loss to Braxton Miller is.
Ohio State hasn't lost except for that one game last year. They hadn't lost 3 years prior. So I mean, there's something they're doing right. You can't say that
It was
they're
the
not
quarterback. Braxton Miller is.
But to think that they're just going to write off one quarterback and not train a quarterback behind him in practice to even be 75% as good as him.
He's a redshirt freshman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then that means he's got to have something that the other quarterback didn't.
Well, he's the only other quarterback on the team.
They didn't have anybody behind Braxton Miller whatsoever?
They had 2 quarterbacks.
And what happened to the second one?
It's Braxton Miller and this redshirt freshman.
So last year, who did they have other than Braxton Miller?
I guess he graduated. No, he transferred. He transferred somewhere.
Yeah, I got you. I remember that.
But yeah, they're in trouble. I mean, even if you have a stellar team around you, their defense is where they look. That was their strength of what. Okay, Braxton Miller's gone, but they have a good defense. Their defense looked awful. It wasn't good.
Yeah, it was not great. But I think we should move on. You want to move over to the NFL here?
Yeah,
because this is pretty much going to be a strictly NFL sort of
and
show.
since it's only an hour.
Since the game starts in what, 2 hours?
Yeah, and since we're only on until 5:30, I guess we should get on that.
2 hours.
So
wait, why are we only on until 5:30?
Because that's the thing. We got a 2-hour Tuesday, 1 hour Thursday.
Oh, so even I didn't know that.
Yeah, see.
In that case, we better start moving because we only got 38 minutes left, and we got a lot to cover here.
We'll be all right. All right, we didn't get to a lot of this yesterday, or Tuesday, sorry. But I guess we'll start here with Peterson. I don't know if you heard. Last year, he said he's taking joking around. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take the first carry to the house.
And then he did.
Yeah, so he's.
And it was like a 64-yard run or something stupid like that.
So he decided to come out and just say again he was going to take it to the house.
It's not going to happen this year.
So just be prepared for when Peterson touches the ball, you can throw a touchdown dance.
Well, last year was one of those. I'm joking, let's happen. And now that he thinks it can happen again, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but Adrian Peterson's.
It is AP. Yeah,
I mean, he can make.
I mean, I'd be happy if he did. He's on my team, so.
He can make anything happen if he wants to.
He can.
Be honest with you.
He can come off of 2 ACL surgeries and still be the leading rusher, second best season in history.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel bad for the fact he didn't get it. I really wanted him to get that.
So, I know he was what, like 105 yards off.
No, he was 9 yards short.
Oh, 9 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the whole give him the whole 9 yards. They were making fun of it. It wasn't good.
All right.
We'll do a little fantasy. We'll just do a little quarterback and running back, just kind of who you think should be played at the position. I guess we'll start with quarterback. Give me your top.
Who's going to be the best this week?
Or maybe not the best. Okay, give me the top 5 quarterbacks you would start, starting with number 5.
Number 5?
Yeah, starting with number 5. We'll go your 5, my 5.
Number 5, I'd probably start Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
He's got a good matchup against Miami this week. I think he's being really underrated by ESPN analysts this year. It's still Tom Brady. Yeah, he might have lost most of his receiving core, but Gronkowski might be questionable.
He actually.
But he still has Edelman, who is better than people give him credit for. He's still got that the new kid who just came up, whose name I can't remember, but he was looking fantastic during preseason.
Well, and another thing is that he actually didn't lose any receivers. He lost them all last year, so he's a second year with them.
And last year he still did well.
And second year with them, I think he's going to improve. I like that.
So 5, I'm going to put Tom Brady.
Okay, 5 is Tom Brady.
4, I'm going to put Nick Foles.
Nick Foles at 4. Okay.
Nick Foles coming off of 21 touchdowns last year, 0 interceptions. He's going to start off against one of the weakest defenses in the league.
If not the
with Jacksonville Jaguars.
Maybe Tennessee's worse. But.
And on that, he's going to have Shady McCoy just destroying the box. When they get tired of that, he's going to be able to throw a long bomb over to like Riley Cooper or Brent Selleck. The tight end
Jeremy Maclin.
The tight end up the seam is going to be his main go-to this year. That's what I'm calling. And this week you're going to see a lot of that this week. Next, I'm going to have to go probably with Andrew Luck. At 3. The Denver defense is good, but Andrew Luck, he's got a lot of experience on his receiving core, and Andrew Luck is good.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Very rarely do you see a rookie from 2 years ago still have a great year last year and then continue to keep rolling and rolling.
That's why I said number 1 quarterback at the end of the season.
I'm going to give him number 3 this week. Number 2, I'm going to put Peyton Manning. So
Peyton
it's
Manning
gonna
too. Okay.
it's gonna be like the Drew Bledsoe, Dan Marino touchdown throwing when they had their opening day
Okay.
about 20 years ago. That's what's gonna
Okay.
happen this week, and Peyton's gonna get the little bit of the upper hand of the deal because it's Peyton Manning.
Obviously.
And at number 1, I have Drew Brees.
Drew
They're playing
Brees.
against Atlanta Falcons. They've been
Yeah.
looking pretty weak, and he's got that nasty Jimmy Graham hookup, and then of course he can hit Marquise Colson, and then he can just have Darren Sproles right up the middle the entire time. Drew Brees is probably gonna have. I'm gonna go with 27 points this week, 28 points.
28 points. So you're saying what? 3 touchdowns, 300 passing yards? That sound about right?
Yeah, about right.
That's I don't
If
know.
not 400 passing
I don't know
yards.
standard league wise. Ooh, okay. Starting at 5. Let's go. I'm gonna go Jay Cutler 5.
Oh.
Jay Cutler's playing a horrible Buffalo team this year. This week.
This week, yep.
He's got Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall. He's got Matt Forte, who can throw screen passes too. He's got all this hype around him. Apparently, the new offensive coordinator, they're looking at him being an MVP candidate. That's been thrown around. So, against a team like this, if he's really going to have an MVP sort of season, I think he's
This is the
top
way to
5.
show it off.
Exact, top 5. 4. I like Foles at 4. I think Foles is playing Jacksonville. I don't think this season he'll do as well as last season.
Because everybody knows what he is and how to
Exactly.
counteract that offense
Yeah,
that they brought in last
but
year.
with the Shady McCoy screen passes, I think screen passes are going to be huge in the NFL this year because I think everybody's going to
Because everybody's mainly, if you have a good quarterback right behind him, you're going to have a good running back.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
how it's been this year.
And I think,
so that dump pass is going to
yeah.
be nasty all year.
And I think Jeremy Maclin getting back, it adds another receiving kind of weapon, even though they did lose to Sean Jackson. But I think 4, that's good for him. 3. I'm gonna go Luck. I'll go Luck 3. I guess they're top or similar. Luck 3. All reasons you mentioned. It's at Denver, so the ball goes further. Just a thing.
A little physics for you.
Yeah, a little physics lesson. But and I don't know if Denver's defense, like cornerbacks, are that good. They improved the defensive line, but
And their cornerbacks were already good, like with Champ Bailey last year.
Yeah, but Champ Bailey's getting old.
He's not a defensive end. He's not a cornerback anyway. So.
Yeah, free safety cornerback type.
So I mean that's a good secondary.
Yeah, but I think with another season under the belt, and they just got Hakeem Nicks, who's a huge target. He's 6'4", something like that.
Yeah, I know.
T.Y. Hilton, yeah, Giants fan. T.Y. Hilton and Reggie Wayne, I think.
That's a nasty receiving core you just got this year.
And I mean, at some point, Trent Richardson's going to have to do something.
You got experience with Wayne, you got explosiveness with Hilton, and then you have just
pure size,
pure strength and size in Hakeem Nicks.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to put Luck 3. 2, I'm going to put Breeze, just because he's away. It's the only reason. He's away at Atlanta. I think Atlanta really fell off last year. I think they're a little better than they did last year, obviously. But Drew Brees, yeah, I'm right there with Tyler. He's gonna have a huge day. Marquise Colston, Jimmy Graham, Brandon Cooks. Watch out for him. He'll have an okay day.
I think he's gonna be a sleeper this year, Brandon Cook.
Well, he's a rookie, so nobody expects a whole lot.
Hence the sleeper.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I think
a good fourth round, fifth round pick right there.
I wouldn't take him that high. But I think. Yeah, he's second. I think Drew Brees he'll have a great day, but he's second. And then first, Peyton Manning. He's at home. They're coming off of losing the Super Bowl pretty badly. I think everybody on the team wants to show that.
And a 55 touchdown season.
Yeah, and everybody wants to show on the team wants to show that, hey, we're better than what you just saw. So there's kind of revenge almost, and it looks like the Colts are going to be the first one in the way of them. So I think that's my top 5 there. So the only difference we had was you had Tom Brady at 5 and I had Jay Cutler. Then we both had Nick Foles, Andrew Luck. I had Drew Brees, you had Peyton Manning, and then I had Peyton Manning, you had Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty similar there. So we'll go running backs. We'll just do a running back.
We're not going to do top 5 or just we're going to
top
5 with it?
We'll do top 3.
All right.
Because that makes it a little more difficult.
Number 3.
Start with 3 and go up.
I'm going to go with Matt Forte.
Matt Forte, all right.
They're pushing him down a little bit on the rankings this year, but he's playing against a Buffalo team. They're playing at home, right?
Yeah, they're at home.
So they're playing at home. Again, with that whole Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall threat that Jay Cutler has going on there. Matt Forte is projected to be top 2 running backs this year. He's going to be good and save an injury that might happen. This week, coming off a good preseason that he didn't play whatsoever, but he got a lot of training and conditioning. He's a big dude. He's like 6 foot, about 210 pounds, 220.
Yeah.
He's explosive. He's powerful. He's fast, and he's got a lot of agility. And he's going to be able to cut through that Buffalo defense. And he's probably going to get, I'm going to go with like 19, 20 points this week. Number 2, I'm going to go with Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles last year was disgusting. Jamal Charles was that pass threat. He was the running threat. He was just running over people, running through people. That's the only reason the Chiefs went 8-0 last year was because Jamal Charles is so good. So Jamal Charles, I'm going to go with 21 points. And number 1, it's got to be LaShawn McCoy. It has to be. He's going against Jacksonville. He's probably the number 1 overall pick this year if people weren't going with AP. Again, that Chip Riley defense really is great for him. He's about 5'10", 5'11", but he's explosive. Chip Kelly, my bad. And he's explosive, and he's powerful, and he's got an IQ and hands that you don't really see in a running back in this league. So LaShawn McCoy he's gonna tear Jacksonville up this year.
Yeah.
Or this week.
3, I'm gonna go Peterson. I think I'm just gonna do Peterson 3 because he's at St. Louis.
St. Louis has got a good rush defense.
That's why he's 3. But But he's
AP.
Adrian Peterson. Yeah. It's Adrian Peterson. So no matter who he plays, he's gonna do well. But I think versus any other team or any other running back, they'd be in trouble. 2, I think Jamal Charles is probably gonna be the best bet there. Yeah, Jamal Charles, Tennessee. Tennessee's got a horrible team. I'm not a big fan of Jamal Charles this year. I think he's gonna get injured. But he's playing a horrible team for the first game of the season. And LaShawn McCoy, if you don't think he's number 1 right now this week, I'm not quite sure who you think is. Maybe a Jamal Charles. But playing Jacksonville and coming off the season he just had, it's like he's in a video game. That's how dominating he is. He is video game dominating. But, I mean, we said top 3, but I think Zach Stacy is going to be top 5.
I think Andre Ellington's going to be top 5. Nobody's really understood this kid.
I do like Ellington.
He's playing against San Diego Chargers, who have an okay defense. But the way he plays, it's just shifty, and it's quick, and it's movement. It's like AP in his first 2 or 3 years. That's what Andre Ellington is.
I think Stacy's top 5 because he's playing Minnesota, who lost Jared Allen. They're not doing too good, and they can't throw the ball. They don't have a quarterback.
So who do you have as someone not on the top 5 or anything?
Okay.
Maybe a wide receiver. Your sleeper pick this week. Someone who's going to go off that nobody really understands.
Oh, what's his name? I know his name. You go first because Cecil Shorts.
Cecil Shorts?
The wide receiver and he's kind of my sleeper throughout the whole season. Cecil Shorts is playing. Pause that. Cecil Shorts is kind of playing with no quarterback right now. So that's why it's kind of like, nobody's really picking him up. But if you think about it, we both said that Blake Bortles is going to play at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the first 3 games. Blake Bortles played pretty well. Cecil Shorts is the only receiver on that team. I think Cecil Shorts, if you don't have him and nobody picked him up yet, go get him now. Like, get on your phone, get on your laptop, open up a new tab, because we're still here. So the best ever right here, and go get Cecil Shorts. Right? Who do you got?
My sleeper this week, for the year, it's going to be Randall Cobb.
Okay.
But this week he's playing against Seattle. He's going to have a little rough day.
Okay, so we'll say year. Mine Cecil Shorts is yours is Randall Cobb.
But this week, the sleeper that people looked at, but he's been gone for a while, I got Percy Harvin going off against Green Bay this week.
Percy Harvin?
He's coming back. He came back in the playoffs, and in his first 2 plays, he was able to get 70 yards and a touchdown. Like, almost instantly coming off of an injury. He's explosive, and he's the new wide receiver that isn't the huge build of Calvin Johnson or Demaryius Thomas. Percy Harvin, save an injury, he's my sleeper this week.
All right, that's yours. My sleeper this week, I'm going to go, my sleeper this week, where'd he go? I'm going to go Eric Decker. I think that Oakland isn't very good. It's at home, at the Jets. He's with the Jets now, if you didn't know.
But he's going to have Geno Smith thrown to him.
But he's the only receiver. That's my thing. If you're the only receiver, the quarterback's just going to force it to get you the ball because he has nobody else to throw it to. Yes, Chris Johnson's there. But they'll run it some, but I see them throwing the ball a lot. Because he's not a ground and pound, which um, what's his name? Their coach likes. I can see his face. I don't know. Big Rex Ryan. There it is. Not Rex Ryan likes a ground and
The
pound, not a
footman.
yeah. Rex Ryan likes a ground and pound, not like a swing pass type thing. So I think Eric Decker has a pretty good game. Also, I don't know where he's ranked on this. I also think Emmanuel Sanders, he's 12th on this.
Yeah.
With Welker being out, he's
For 6 weeks,
yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders is going to take over on that team behind
exact-
Demarius Thomas,
yeah,
of course.
of course, but everybody's going to double Demarius Thomas and boom, Emmanuel Sanders goes off.
So I think it's time to do what everybody really here is waiting for, because everybody who listens to the show is a fan of one of the next 4 teams we're about to say.
No, probably not. We already did the AFC.
I'm
He's
talking about the NFC.
Yep, but I was just we did the AFC. I don't know if you missed the last show. We did the AFC rankings. We went through each team individually, looked at the schedule, and told you what we thought their record would be. We both had the Patriots winning the AFC East. I had the Dolphins coming out of the wild card in the AFC, just kind of there. We both had the Steelers winning the AFC North. Kind of not a great team this year, but schedule-wise, they just got really lucky. I think it's fair to say.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. We both had the Bengals and Ravens kind of falling off a little bit there, and the Browns horrible. We both had the Colts winning the AFC South pretty handily, and we did have the Texans bouncing back though. I had them at 9-7. Tyler had them at 8-8, and then in the West, we both had the Broncos winning,
And I have the Chargers as the wild card for the AFC.
and they tied the Broncos.
Yep.
So they would just have the kind of the.
So we're going to go on to the NFC here,
So
which
yeah,
I'm more concerned about. but-
Now it's an NFC time. Let's see if we can get this thing to work.
I've been waiting so long to hear that sound.
So we got it is football night. I guess we should mention that real fast. It's the Packers versus Seahawks. I
It's
guess
going to be a good game.
who do you see winning this game?
The Seahawks coming back with a vengeance. Their coach will not let them become complacent. Russell Wilson's a national-born leader, and Richard Sherman's going to keep that defense moving. So
I think the Packers come out and surprise them. I think the Seahawks do well, but I think the Packers do come out and surprise them. So I think the Packers get the W right now. But I think I don't know if they play again, but if they do, definitely think that the Seahawks will get it. So we'll look at the Cowboys first. For all you Cowboys fans out there, we already know they're going to go 8-8. So now we're just deciding at what do they go 8-8. So they start off with the 49ers.
that's a loss.
Yep. Then they play at the Titans.
That's a win.
They play at the Rams.
That's a loss.
Yep. The defensive line there is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And the offensive line for the Cowboys have been notoriously bad these last 3 years.
Yeah, it has. Then they play the Saints. It's at home.
That's a loss, though.
I'm gonna say that's a loss too, but that's a lot closer than we would think. Then they play the Texans.
That's a win.
I'm gonna say yeah, probably. Then they're at the Seahawks.
That's a loss.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Then they play the Giants.
That's a win.
It's at home. Yeah.
That's a win.
At home they play. Then they play the Redskins.
Redskins will destroy them.
Now at home they beat the Redskins.
Okay.
At home they beat them. Then they play the Cardinals.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
I got them losing.
Yeah, I'm agree with it.
All right. Then they play at Jacksonville.
And they win that.
Yep. Then they play at the Giants.
And they lose that.
That's where the loss comes in there. Then they play the Eagles.
At home, that's still a loss.
At home, they win that one.
I don't know. The Eagles are going to outright win it this year.
They will, but at home, they win that one.
Okay.
Then they play at the Bears.
Loss.
Yep. Then they play at the Eagles.
Loss.
Yep. Then they play the Colts.
Loss.
We're putting them below 8-8. This is bad. Then we play. I'm giving them. Then
Yeah.
they're at the Cardinals or at the Colts. Sorry.
That's a loss.
Yep. And then at the Redskins.
That's a loss.
I got them at 10-6.
Other way around. You got them at 6-10.
That's what I meant to say.
I got them at 7-9.
7-9 and 6-10. That's
Rough season for the Cowboys.
Yeah. I think this may be the year they actually do worse than we projected and they bottom out.
Ooh.
Their bottom out year's coming. They're not good. They're average. They're mediocre at best.
Hey, calm down, Sherman.
Mediocre at best. So now we're gonna move on to the Giants. This is also
Monday
the
night game.
NFC East, if everybody didn't know that. The Giants, Eagles, Redskins, Cowboys. But we're gonna go with the Eagles, or not the Eagles, sorry, the Giants here. We're gonna start off first game of the season at the Lions.
That's a loss.
At the Lions is a loss. That's the Lions. They're looking pretty good. Then they play the Cardinals at home.
That's a loss.
I also think so. I think the Cardinals defense is very good this year. Then they play the Texans.
That's a win.
If it was at the Texans, I'd say a loss. But since it's at home, I'm gonna say the Texans lose. So Giants win. Then at the Redskins. That's a difficult one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with win, but that's a bias situation. But I think if they can shut down, if they put like Prince Amukamara on Deshaun Jackson and shut him down, I think they can get a win. But if their secondary gets banged up again, like they normally do in the early season, that's gonna be a loss.
I think also it depends who's at quarterback.
So I'm gonna go. If they're healthy, the Giants will win. If the Giants' defense is full and healthy, they'll win.
I think if both teams are healthy, the Redskins just win it because it's at home.
I'm gonna go with the win. You're gonna go with the loss.
Yeah, and then they play the Falcons.
That's a win.
Yeah,
at home.
Oh.
At home, that's a win. They don't have Tony Gonzalez anymore. Matt Ryan was looking bad last year.
Yeah.
Jesus Jones is gonna be disgusting, and Roddy White's old, and he'll be able to be shut down easy. And they don't have a running game.
I'll give them a win, but that's a close one.
Yep.
That's one where it's like, ooh, that was close. Then they play at the Eagles.
That's a loss.
Yeah, then they play at the Cowboys.
That's a loss.
Yeah, then they play the Colts.
That's a loss.
Yep. At Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a loss. Then they play the 49ers.
That's a loss.
They win that one.
Ooh.
I don't like the 49ers this year.
Okay.
So at home they beat the 49ers.
Okay.
Cold weather, they beat them. Then they play the Cowboys.
At home, they beat them, especially in the latter half of the season when they're down.
Yep. Then they're at Jacksonville.
They win that.
Yep. At Tennessee.
They win that.
They're home against the Redskins.
I'm going to cut it in half. They're going to lose that one, and they win the one away.
Okay. I'm going to have them win that one.
Okay.
Then they're at the Rams.
Sam Bradford's injured again, right?
Yeah.
But that defense is good.
Yeah. I got them losing.
I got them winning this one.
The only reason I have them losing is I think that the Giants are gonna be banged up.
Yeah, but the end of the season's when they're always their best.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna be banged up.
I think they're gonna win this one.
And then they lose the Eagles.
Yeah, lose the Eagles. So I've got them at 8-8.
I have them at 9-7.
7-9.
7-9.
All right.
I just can't speak today.
You got it. It's okay.
All right, so I got them at 7-9, and Tyler's got them at 8-8. I think both of those are pretty accurate. I mean, there's some games they can win, and there's some games they can lose in there that we said they're going to lose.
But if they go to the postseason, they win it all. Just letting you know. That's how they do.
Mm-hmm.
They suck during the regular season, go to the postseason, and kill people.
All right, so the Eagles, we both agree they're going to win this conference outright.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's see how dominating they are.
Tonight,
Jacksonville.
destruction. Not tonight. Sorry, but yeah, this week.
Jacksonville,
Jacksonville.
yes. Then at the Colts.
They lose.
Yes.
Beat the Redskins.
Yep.
Beat the 49ers.
Yeah, they'll beat the 40. At 49ers, they lose that one.
Okay.
I don't like the 49ers, but I think they lose that one.
Then they beat the Rams.
Yep. At
beat
home.
the Giants.
At home, yep.
Lose the Cardinals.
I think they beat the Cardinals.
Okay, I'm going to go with losing.
Okay.
Beat the Texans.
I think they beat the Texans, yeah.
Beat the Panthers.
Yep.
Lose to the Packers.
It's at Lambeau Field, so yes.
Beat the Titans.
Yeah, at home, that's pretty easy.
Beat the Cowboys, who's on that latter half.
They're at Cowboy Stadium. I think that's a really good game.
But the Cowboys will lose it.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Cowboys lose to the Eagles.
At home, they beat the Seahawks.
Now they lose to the Seahawks.
Okay. They beat the Cowboys at home.
Yep.
Beat the Redskins, beat the Giants.
They lose one of those. I don't know which one.
Okay,
they lose 5. I have them at 11-5.
I've got them at 11-5 also.
Okay. So 11-5, the Eagles win the NFC East. So there you go. Bet your house on it.
God, I hate saying those words.
Yeah.
It has happened though.
All right, the Redskins. RG3's back. So we'll
At
see.
the Texans, they win.
At the Texans, they lose. I'm on the Texans rebuild bandwagon.
Okay. Lose against beat the Jags.
Yeah.
Lose against the Eagles.
At the Eagles, of course.
Beat the Giants at home.
Yeah, because I said they win. Yeah, so yes.
Lose to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Lose the Cardinals.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I agree.
The NFC hurts this year.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they got screwed over. They have to play the Seahawks, Eagles, Cardinals, or Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers, Rams this year. Like that's the division they were handed. They got
That's every team in the NFC East.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like the NFC East got screwed this year.
Titans.
Titans.
They lose to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They beat the Titans.
Yeah.
Lose to the Cowboys.
Um. At
At
Cowboys.
Cowboys
Out
Stadium.
Cowboys. Yeah, I'll say they lose.
Beat the Vikings.
Yeah, I think so.
Beat the Bucks.
Yeah, they'll beat the Vikings. They beat the Bucks.
Lose to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And the Colts.
Yeah.
And the Rams.
At home, I think they beat the Rams.
Okay. Lose to the Giants.
At the Giants Stadium, I
Giants
think
Stadium.
they lose.
And then they lose to the Eagles.
They win out the rest. They win the final two. They beat
No,
the
they
Eagles
lose to the
and
Eagles
Cowboys.
and win against Cowboys. So
No,
I got them
think
at
they
6
beat
and 10.
I think they beat 6 and 10.
Yep.
I got them at.
You got them at 7 and 9 if you have them winning out.
No, I had them at 8 and 8.
Oh.
And you had them at 7 and 9.
6 and 10.
6 and 10. Wow, worse than I thought. All right, so there's your NFC East right there for you. The only team that will be above 500 is the Eagles.
By a lot.
You said the Giants would even, and I said the Redskins would even. But other than that, the only team that is above 500 is the Eagles at 11 and 5. So now we'll move on to the NFC North. Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. That's this is a tough one. This conference is really tough this year. We'll start with the Bears going to the Bill or staying at home. Bill's coming to them.
They'll lose. I mean, sorry, they'll win. They'll win.
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
whoa. Yeah, they win versus the Bills.
Lose against the 49ers.
They beat the
away,
49ers.
But beat the Jets away.
They beat the Jets, yes.
Beat the Packers
At home, yes.
Beat the Panthers.
At the Panthers, they lose. That's their first loss this season.
I disagree. That's going to be their second loss of the season.
Well, yeah, you said the 49ers.
Beat the Falcons away.
Yep.
Beat the Dolphins.
Yep.
Lose to the Patriots.
Yep.
Lose to the Packers away.
At the Packers away, of course.
Beat the Vikings and the Bucks.
Okay.
Lose to the Lions away.
Yep.
Beat the Cowboys at home.
Mm-hmm.
Lose to the Saints at home.
Mm-mm.
Ooh.
I think they win.
Okay. Beat the Lions at home.
Yeah.
And beat the Vikings away.
Yeah. They lose either the Saints or the Lions game.
I got them at 10 and 6.
I got them at 11 and 5. I think they win this division. That's my 2 cents. But yeah, they either lose versus the Saints or the Lions. Looking back on it. All right, so now we're moving on to the Lions.
Win against the Giants.
Yep.
Win against the Panthers.
At Panthers, I think they lose. No, they don't. No, they don't. They're
going to beat the Panthers. Lose to the Packers.
At home, I still think they lose.
Beat the Jets.
Yeah.
Beat the Bills.
Yep.
Beat the Vikings.
Yep.
Lose to the Saints at home.
That's a shootout.
Saints win, though. Simply because of the Jimmy Graham Drew Brees hookup.
I think, yeah, okay.
Beat the Falcons away.
I think they lose to the Falcons.
Okay. Beat the Dolphins.
They'll beat the Dolphins.
Beat the Cardinals.
They lose to the Cardinals.
Lose to the Patriots.
They lose to the Patriots.
Lose to the Bears.
They win that Bears.
Okay. Beat the Bucks.
Mhm.
Beat the Vikings. Lose to the Bears.
They lose that Bears.
And lose to the Packers.
Yeah.
So I got them at 9 and 7.
I got them at 8 and 8. 9 and 7, 8. This is a difficult.
This is a difficult conference to call.
It's just.
Oh,
gotten
and they
more
pick
more
up the
difficult.
wild card, by the way.
You think they pick up the wild card?
Lions are the wild card.
I think the Packers pick up the wild card. So you got the Lions doing better than the Packers. So
Yep.
you have the Packers going sub 500.
I got them going 8 and 8.
Yeah, I ain't even got to read the schedule then.
Nope, ain't got to read it.
All right, they lose
Lose
at
the
the
Seahawks.
tonight. I said they win, so I got to go with that.
They lose to the Seahawks.
No, they win versus Seahawks.
Beat the Jets.
Yeah.
Lose to the Lions.
At Lions, I'll give you that one.
Lose to the Bears.
They lose to the Bears.
Beat the Vikings.
Mhm.
Dolphins.
They lose to the Dolphins.
Beat the Panthers.
Yep.
Lose to the Saints.
I
Away.
think they beat the Saints.
Nah, I disagree.
I think they beat the Saints.
Beat the Bears at home.
Yep.
Lose to the Eagles at home.
Yep.
Beat the Vikings away.
Mhm.
Lose to the Patriots at home.
Yep.
Beat the Falcons.
Yep.
Beat the Bills.
Mhm.
Beat the Bucks.
Mhm.
Lose to the Lions.
Yep.
So 8 and 8.
I got them at 10 and 6.
Are they your wild card winners?
They are my wild card winners. I think I think
So how do you have the Bears at 11 and 6, sir?
I have them at 11 and 5. I just wrote that wrong. Yeah. It's a really difficult stretch for them
Yeah.
because I mean they don't play outside their conference. They're not playing great teams. They play the Patriots, Saints, Okay, they play the Patriots and the Saints.
Yep.
Those are really two difficult ones. But outside of that, their team's loaded anyway. Like their conference is loaded.
So the Vikings
anyway.
are going to have a rough year.
Yeah, the Vikings start off with the Rams.
They're going to lose that game.
They win that game because the Rams don't really have a quarterback.
But they have the defense.
This is true.
They lose to the Patriots at home.
Yep.
Lose to the Saints away.
Yep.
I'm starting them off at 0-3.
Okay.
They're going to beat the Falcons.
Okay.
Lose to the Packers.
Yep.
Lose to the Lions.
Yep.
Beat the Bills and the Bucks.
Okay.
I'm going to go with losing to the Skins.
Yeah, they'll lose to the Redskins.
And the Bears.
Yep.
And the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the Panthers, though.
No, they lose to the Panthers. At this point, the Panthers have put something together.
Beat the Jets.
Yep.
Lose to the Lions.
Okay.
Beat the Dolphins.
They lose to the Dolphins.
And lose to the Bears.
They do lose to the Bears.
So I've got them at 6-10.
I got them at 5-11.
Jeez. Poor Vikings.
Well, they only have Adrian Peterson. That's the problem.
No, they have
Teddy Bridgewater, but
Jared
he's not-
Allen.
No, Jared Allen left. Yeah. All right, now to the Falcons in the AFC South. We got to pick it up a little bit.
Pick it up.
All right, so they start off with the Saints.
Loss.
Yep. Yeah.
Bengals. Loss.
At the Bengals, yes.
Bucks win.
Yep.
Vikings win. No, actually, Adam losing. My bad. Vikings a
Yep.
loss.
Yeah, I think they lose. At the Vikings, they lose.
Giants a loss.
I think they win versus the Giants.
They beat they lose to the Bears.
Yep.
Beat the Ravens.
Now, the Ravens got Ray Rice back at this point.
Oh yeah. Okay, so they lose to the Ravens.
Okay.
Lose to the Lions.
Yep.
Beat the Bucks.
Okay.
Lose to the Panthers.
Yep.
Beat the Browns.
Yeah.
Lose to the Cardinals.
It's at home. I think they win that one.
Lose to the Packers.
Yep.
Lose to the Steelers. And the Saints and the Panthers again.
So you think they lose the final three? I think
they're going
2.
3-13 this year.
I think they go. What is that? I'll say. You said 3-10.
3-13.
3-13. I'm gonna go 4-12.
And they win the wild card.
They win it. The Cubs win. All right, we're gonna move on to the Panthers, who lost everybody on the offensive side except Cam Newton. Oh nope, we're just gonna stay on the Falcons apparently. There it is. All right, so they start off with the Bucks.
And they win that.
It's gonna be closer than people think, but they do win.
They're going to lose 4 straight after that,
To
though.
the Lions, Steelers.
Lions, Steelers, Ravens, and Bears.
I agree with that.
They're also going to lose to the Bengals and Packers.
Yeah, okay.
And the Seahawks and the Saints.
Oh my God.
And the Eagles.
So they lose 8. What is that? 9 straight?
9 straight.
Okay, they lose 9 straight.
But they pulled together and beat the Falcons.
Okay.
Then they beat the Vikings.
Okay.
Then they lose to the Saints.
No, they beat the Saints.
No, they lose to the
They
Saints.
beat the Saints.
Then they beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
And the Browns.
Okay.
And the Falcons.
Okay, so they lose 9 straight, and then they win the first one, lose 9 straight, and win the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
No.
is what I have.
I have them losing one of those. So I have them at 5-11 after starting off 0-9.
Okay, and I have them at 7. No, you have them at 1-9.
Yeah.
I have them at 7-9, and Tyler has them at 5-11.
Yep.
Ah, oh man.
The South got a
they
rough
got,
year.
They got. Oh my
That
God.
schedule is awful.
Holy crap, man! That was ridiculous, man. It's like, oh, they're gonna lose all of them. All right, the Saints start off with the Falcons.
And a win.
Yep.
And another win against the Browns.
Yep.
And another win against the Vikings.
Okay.
And a loss against the Cowboys.
Nope, they beat the Cowboys.
And a win against the Bucks.
Yep.
And a win against the Lions.
No, they lose at the Lions.
And a win against the Packers.
Yeah.
And the Panthers.
Yep.
And the 49ers.
Yes.
And the Bengals.
Yes.
And the Ravens. Yeah, they win against the Ravens. The Ravens have nothing.
Yeah.
Steelers don't have a defense to stop it, even
Yeah.
if it's at home.
Yeah.
But it is cold. I mean, it gets
They
cold
lose one of
in the
those
Steelers.
3. I don't know which one, but they lose either Bengals, Ravens, or Steelers.
They're going to lose against Steelers because I've been to Heinz Field in December. It is cold.
They lose to Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. Somebody there.
All right. They beat the Panthers at home.
Okay.
No,
they
lose to
lose
the Bears.
They lose to the Panthers and they lose to the Bears.
Beat the Falcons and the Bucks.
Okay, yeah.
So I've got them at like 12-4.
Yeah, that's what I got them at too. That's
just the outright winners of that division.
Wait,
by
man,
far.
we still have one left. The Bucks. The Bucks are going undefeated.
I think they're going to have the worst this year behind the Titans.
All right, we'll see here. They start with the Panthers.
Loss.
It's close, but they do lose.
Rams loss.
Yep.
Falcons loss because it's away.
Yep.
Steelers loss.
Yep.
Saints loss.
Yep.
Ravens loss.
Yep.
Vikings loss because AP is going to run over the defense they don't have.
Yep. No, they went. Okay. Yeah. Okay, they'll lose to the
They're
Vikings.
at the Browns. neither team are good, so they're gonna have the home field advantage, and the Browns are gonna win that because of
No,
Jordan Cameron.
Browns lose.
Only because of Jordan Cameron are they gonna win that.
He's good. Browns lose.
Falcons at home. I'll give them a win on that.
I'll give them a win too.
Loss to the Redskins.
They
Loss
beat
to the
the
Bears.
Redskins. They beat the Redskins. They lose to the Bears.
And the Bengals.
Yeah.
And the Lions.
Yeah.
And the Panthers.
Yeah.
And the Packers.
Yeah.
And the Saints.
Yeah.
I've got them at 2-14.
Yeah. I got them at 4-12. 4-12 and 2-14. And we'll put all these in the description on YouTube, and so you can see kind of what we said. Just kind of a quick recap if you can't watch the whole thing. Also, we're trying to get in a podcast so you can just take us wherever your phone goes, because that'd be great.
Because that's
right?
exactly what you need.
All right, Arizona. They start off with the Chargers.
And a win.
They do start off with a win.
And another win.
At the Giants, yep.
And another win.
Yeah, at the
Like
49ers.
And then they lose to the Broncos.
Home versus the 49ers, yes, and then away at the Broncos, yeah, they lose.
Then they beat the Skins.
Yep.
And the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Lose to the Eagles.
Yep.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Lose to the Lions.
Okay.
Lose to the Seahawks.
Okay.
Beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
Lost to the Chiefs.
I think they beat the Chiefs.
Win against the Rams.
I think they lose this one to the Rams.
Lose to the Seahawks.
I think they beat the Seahawks this time.
And beat the 49ers.
Yep.
So I've got them at 8-8.
I got them at 10-6. No, 9-7. 9-7, and you got them at 8-8.
Yep.
All right, and the Rams. Dun 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 dun.
Dun 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 dun.
The Rams.
I'm riding the Rams bandwagon this year.
Are you?
I am.
All right. So versus the Vikings.
Win.
Okay. Yep.
At the Bucks, win.
Yep.
Cowboys, win because it's at home.
They lose because they don't have a quarterback.
They lose to the Eagles.
Yep.
Beat the 49ers at home.
I think they lose the 49ers.
Lose to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Beat the Chiefs.
Okay.
Beat the 49ers away.
Okay, they lose the away one, win the home one.
Okay. Lose to the Cardinals.
Okay.
Lose to the Broncos.
Yep.
Beat the Chargers.
Okay.
And the Raiders.
They lose to the Chargers. At Charger Stadium, I think they lose.
They're going to beat the Chargers. And the Raiders.
They beat the Raiders, yeah.
And the Skins.
Yep.
Lose to the Cardinals.
This one's at home. They've probably put it together. This one, I think they win.
Okay. Beat the Giants. Lose to the Seahawks. I've got them at 11-5.
Wow. I got them at 8-8.
I like the Rams this year. What can I say?
11-5 though.
I've
Wow.
that whole defense wins championship things is what I'm feeling.
This
You like Zach Stacy. Would you put Zach Stacy in the top 5 running backs this year?
at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the key thing for the Seahawks last year?
It was a running game, but it was also
It was Marshawn Lynch and a great defense.
But their quarterback was smart. Their quarterback
They didn't have a
stupid.
smart quarterback.
They didn't
I'll
need
give
to
you
make
that.
stupid decisions.
I'll give you that.
All right, Cowboys are the 49ers start for the Cowboys.
Loss at
Yep.
Cowboys.
Yep.
Loss against the Bears
Okay.
and the Cardinals
At the Cardinals, yep.
and the Eagles
Okay.
and the Chiefs.
I think they beat the Chiefs.
At Rams Stadium, they lose.
Okay.
And the Broncos.
Okay.
Beat the Rams at home.
Yeah.
Lose to the Saints away.
Okay.
And the Giants.
I think they beat the Giants.
Beat the Skins.
Yeah.
Lose to the Seahawks.
Okay.
Beat the Raiders.
They lose to the Raiders. I think.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you
I
that.
think they lose to the Raiders.
Beat the Seahawks.
No.
I mean, lose to the Seahawks,
Yep.
sorry, away. Beat the Chargers.
Okay.
And lose to the Cardinals.
I'll agree with that. I
So-
got them at 5-11.
I got them at 6-10.
I don't like them this year. Everybody's
I don't either. Kaepernick isn't as good as people say he is.
not at all. And we're rounding it out. This will be kind of our last word here. With the Seattle, the defending champions, what is their record? They start off with the Packers tonight.
It's a win tonight.
It's a loss.
It's a win at home against the Packers.
I called the Packers winning it from the start of the show, so I got to finish it.
At the Chargers, they win.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Broncos won't let them win again.
Nope.
Even at home, they
Nope.
lose to the Broncos.
Yep.
They beat the Skins.
Yeah, they beat the Skins. I don't know why. I
They
was
beat the
thinking about
Cowboys at home.
it. Yep.
Beat the Rams away.
They lose to the Rams.
I called them beating them away.
That's a slip up game.
Beat the Panthers
Okay.
and the Raiders and
Yep.
the Giants
Okay.
and the Chiefs
Okay.
and the Cardinals at home
Yep.
and the 49ers.
Yeah.
Lose to the Eagles though.
Okay.
Beat the 49ers at home.
Mhm.
Lose the Cardinals away
Yeah.
and beat the Rams at home.
Yep. So I got them at 11-5.
I've got them at 13-3.
13-3. And
So now we've done it all. Who wins it all? Or who's in the Super Bowl this year?
who's in the Super Bowl this year? That's a very good question, sir.
Now I'm going to have the Seahawks, and from the AFC, I think I'm going to give it the Colts.
And my pick is, all right, who wins it?
Who wins it? Colts.
All right. The Patriots come from the AFC. They're just dominating. And from the NFC, I think the Eagles. I think the Eagles surprise people, and the Eagles end up there.
Who wins it?
The Patriots win it.
Oh, thank God.
The Patriots win the Super Bowl.
I can't be alive the day the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Yep, the Patriots win the Super Bowl. So, we got to get going. Our show, a little less than normal. Not great, but we got to do it.
Tuesday will be a 2-hour event again.
We'll talk about football, fantasy, all that. I'm sure some basketball will come up because Team USA is playing.
And, of course, the first week of football will be over, so we got a lot to talk about on Tuesday.
And ODU's playing NC State. Be sure you watch that one. That's going to be a good game. Hopefully ODU pulls that one out. So, I guess Kupchak signing off. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler, and you're listening to WODU, the best in college radio. Have a good night, guys.
And the best sports radio show ever.